With that, let me go to our first candidate, who is Sara Barron. So I'm going to just read a very short introduction, and then you can maybe come over to this. Whoever's getting introduced can come on. Okay, so Sara Barron is the Community Relations Director at Big Brothers Big Sisters of Johnson County. She and her wife, Melissa, an Iowa ICCSD special education teacher, have 2 children who attend Grantwood Elementary. Sara has been active in the Grantwood PTO, the district parent organization, and was a member of the Facilities Steering Committee.
Hi. Well, that's basically how I was planning to use my 3 minutes, so now I have to think of something else to say. Well, let's just start by talking about Hoover, since that's what brought us all here today. I was on the Master Facilities Planning Committee, and so I had a chance to get pretty familiar with the data that was used and the way the decisions were made in the process of coming up with the scenarios that were presented to the board. I was one of 2 members of the Facilities Steering Committee who voted against closing Hoover during the facilities planning process. And the reason that I did that was because I didn't feel that closing Hoover was needed to reach the other goals of the facilities plan. We have an opportunity here to do some great investing in our existing schools, as well as add on some additional capacity for the new students we're going to be welcoming into our district, and that's wonderful. I think we do have to be very careful with how we spend the money that we're being trusted to spend wisely. And so anything that would result in us overbuilding capacity would be a big mistake at this point. We have a lot of existing needs that we need to tend to, and we don't want to spend any money that we don't need to on empty classrooms. The reason that my main concern with the facilities plan is this. The way that the capacity numbers were determined means that we will either have empty classrooms or we will have class sizes of somewhere around 20 students in a building on average. And unfortunately, as great as that ideal would be, we can't afford to have enough teachers to have class sizes of 20 students. That's just a reality of our budget now, and it's a reality of our budget in the future. So what we have to do is have a more realistic discussion about what the actual enrollment will be at each building. And until we have that discussion, we really can't make a final determination about what new space we'll need to build and where. I know that we will need new space, and I'm really looking forward to seeing that new space built. But we can't use those ideal numbers that are based on projections to make real decisions about what we're going to build, and especially not about what we're going to close. We just simply can't commit to closing the school until we know that it absolutely needs to happen. And I would say that for any school, anywhere in the area. And also I think that we need to talk not just about the economic impact of that, but also the impact that it has on the neighborhoods and the communities when we close a school. Schools are a great public resource, and we need to make sure that we're using those public resources to invest in smart community development. And closing a school to build a new one on the outskirts of town probably isn't the best use of our power when it comes to community development. So that's my Hoover answer, and I have a lot of other things to talk about too. I hope we'll get to talk about them, but we'll start with that.